Hi everyone! Welcome to Tana's Passion! Napakasarap ng recipe natin for today. Gagawa tayo ng Savory Babka or Savory Braided Bread. I'm sure you will fall in love with this one. So let's get started. First, let's make our dough. Ang gagawin natin ay rich dough. So kung may mixer kayo, feel free to use it. Sa ating mixing bowl, ilagay ang flour and sugar. Ang gamit ko ay tipo 00 na may 12% protein. Pwede kayong gumamit ng bread flour. Haluin ito gamit ang fork. Combine them well. Then add the fresh yeast. Durugin ito bago ilagay sa dry ingredients. Kahit hindi na ito tunawin sa tubig, okay lang. For instant or active, ilalagay ko ang conversion in the description box below. For instant yeast, pwede nyo itong ilagay directly sa dry ingredients. For active naman, kailangan i-activate muna bago gamitin. I-set aside muna natin. Kunin ang milk at ilagay dito ang 4 medium fresh eggs. Milk ang gamit ko para mas malasa at malambot ang bread. Kung walang milk, pwedeng water lang. Beat them well. Once the eggs are fully mixed, ilagay ito gradually sa dry ingredients habang hinahalo. Continue mixing until the liquid is fully absorbed. Pag nag-absorb na ang liquid, pwede nang gamitan ng kamay. I-fold ito hanggang sa mag-form na ang dough. Pag okay na, ilagay ang salt at 2 tablespoons ng milk. Naglagay tayo ng liquid sa salt para mas mabilis itong mag-absorb sa dough. And continue folding for 1 to 2 minutes. Then last, ang room temperature butter. Not too soft and not too firm. Just in between. Yung ganitong texture. Habang nilalagay ang butter, fold the dough and hayaang mag-absorb before adding the next portion. Gradually lang ang paglalagay. Guys, if you love baking, kahit may dough mixer kayo, once in a while, mag-need kayo gamit ng mga kamay. Because it's very important to feel and connect with your dough. So malalaman ninyo or masisense ninyo yung process and development na nangyayari. And this helps you become more skilled in handling the dough. Pag nailagay na lahat ng butter, magdas ng harina sa kneading board at ilagay ang dough dito. Tuloy-tuloy lang ang pagmasa hanggang sa maging soft and elastic na ito. Kakailanganin natin ng 8 to 15 minutes. Since sticky ang dough, gagamitan natin ng slap and fold technique. This is the easiest way to handle this kind of dough. Kung gusto nyong matutunan ng step-by-step how to knead your sticky dough using this technique, ilalagay ko ang link sa description below. Sa paggawa ng slap and fold, laging tatandaan ang ibabaw ay laging nasa ibabaw at ang ilalim ay always ilalim. Huwag nyong ibabaligtad. Once in a while, scrape nyo ito, then slap and fold again. After 8 minutes, ready na ang dough. Mapapansin nyong may mga bubbles na sa ibabaw. Baliktarin natin, then stretch your dough. Now, let's do window pane test. Pag di na ito napupunit or elastic na, it means ready na. Ilagay ang dough sa bowl or container. Maglagay ng onting oil. Spread ito. Cover it and let it rest until almost doubles in size, about 70% ng pag-alsa. This takes around 1 to 1.5 hours, depende sa room temperature. Once done, ilagay sa counter. Dust some flour para hindi dumikit. I-flatten ito gamit ang mga kamay. Then stretch it using your rolling pin or empty bottle kung wala nito. Roll it out hanggang sa umabot ito ng approximately 45 by 50 centimeters at may lapad na 0.5 centimeters. Ganito ka-thin. After stretching, add the lemon zest. Kakailanganin natin ng 3 to 4 medium size ng lemon. Siguraduhin na ikalat ito all over the surface. This technique adds good taste and fragrance. Pag nailagay na lahat ng lemon zest, spread ito gamit ang kamay para mas mag-stick sa dough ang fragrance nito. Then cover the surface with mortadella. Kung nasa Italy or Europe kayo, use mortadella because it has a slightly sweet flavor na perfect for this bread. But if you're in the Philippines, you can use any ham you like since yung ham natin is already a bit sweet. Cover completely with mortadella. Then sprinkle with parmesan cheese. Kung walang parmesan, pwede kayong mag-experiment ng ibang cheese. Dadamihan natin para mas masarap. Pwede din kayong mag-explore ng filling na gusto ninyo. Once filled, i-roll na ang dough from the bottom kung saan ang haba ng dough. Hinihigpitan ito habang pinapaikot. Kung hindi pa po kayo nakakapag-subscribe sa Anna's Passion, please consider subscribing and pakiring na rin yung notification bell para updated kayo sa lahat ng aking new recipes. Seal the edges. Pinch nyo ito para siguradong nakasara. Then seam side down. Before cutting the dough, make sure na nakahanda na ang ring mold pan. Kung wala nito, you can use a regular round pan. I lined with parchment paper para hindi dumikit. Sa bottom naman, nilagyan ko ng butter. Cut the rolled dough lengthwise, pahaba. Mag-iiwan tayo ng 2 to 3 centimeters uncut dito sa dulo. At this point, kailangan nyong bilisan ang kilos kasi maghihiwalay siya. I-braid ito, aalalayan nyo ang gilid para hindi bumuka. Itong procedure na ito ay medyo delicate kaya kailangan ng passion and patience. After braiding, transfer immediately into the pan. Let it rise again for about 45 minutes. Ibalik sa container at takpan. Now our savory babka is ready to bake. But before loading, mag-brush tayo sa ibabaw ng egg wash. 1 egg, then 1 tablespoon ng milk. Haluin ito ng mabuti. Brush on top. And sprinkle a bit of maldon or flake sea salt. This enhances both the flavor and texture and giving a nice crunch na contrast beautifully with the soft interior of the bread. Ready na itong i-bake sa preheated oven 180 degrees Celsius for 40 to 50 minutes. Pero kung makita ninyong 15 minutes pa lang or maaga pa lang like 15 to 20 minutes, masyado na siyang nagbabrown, takpan nyo ng foil, then continue baking. So, ilagay na natin sa oven. There you have it, our beautiful Savory Babka. Ang bango-bango niya. So after baking, let it rest for 10 minutes in the pan before transferring it to a cooling rack or serving plate. Excited na ako for our taste test. Ganda-ganda niya. Time for a taste test. Buonissimo. Walang biro. Napakasarap talaga nito. So lovely viewers, please try this recipe. I'm sure you'll love it. Bango. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next recipe. Ciao for now.